Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Erin, and today we're doing a slightly different video. I'm going to go through some palettes that I am decluttering. Some of them are full-on yeses, and some of them are maybes. I'm thinking about it. I have a ton of eyeshadow palettes. I love eyeshadow palettes. They are my favorite thing to buy. But I have too many and I cannot use as many as I have. So we're going to go through them and I'm going to tell you exactly why I'm getting rid of them. I asked you guys on Instagram if you would like to see it and most of you said yes. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about why I don't use the palette, or why I don't like the palette, and why I'm getting rid of it, or why I'm thinking of getting rid of it. The first one is this Violet Voss Essentials eyeshadow palette. We got this in a boxy charm and it's really pretty and it's nice. I've used it once. I'm not drawn to it. These colors don't scream to me, and I have so many similar colors that I just can't see myself reaching for this. So I'm going to give it to somebody who will reach for it and who will love it. Next up is the Revolution Forever Flawless Optimum palette. I think that's what it's called. I originally got this because it looks like a Natasha Denona dupe. And it has really pretty colors, but the pigmentation's just not great. They're very dusty and not very pigmented at all. And I have used it a couple of times and I just can't get it to work for me. So for that reason, I'm saying bye-bye to this palette. It's not welcome in my collection anymore. Another palette that I was pretty disappointed with is the Santa Fe BH Cosmetics palette. I actually did a video on this and I don't know, the colors are so pretty. I hate the layout of this palette. I hate that the pans are shaped, but yeah, the colors just all look the same on the eye and I don't really care for it. I have a ton of these shades in my collection and I just feel like it's unnecessary to have a palette that I don't really love the formula of, but I have tons of colors in my collection like this. So this is also going bye-bye. Another palette I'm 100% sure I'm getting rid of is the Warrior by Juvia's Place. This palette doesn't perform bad. It's actually super pretty and super pigmented. I love Juvia's Place formula. However, it's such a boring palette. There's only 3 mattes out of the whole thing. And you just create the same looks over and over again. And again, I have these colors already in my collection. And I just think it's dumb to have so many palettes with the exact same eyeshadow color. And I just wasn't super impressed by this Juvia's Place palette. I'm getting rid of it. This palette is hard for me because I don't want to get rid of it because I really do like it. However, I don't use it. I really don't. I haven't used it in over 6 months probably. I don't reach for it, but it is a great palette, and that is the Jaclyn Hill palette with Morphe. This is the original. I love this palette. I was obsessed with it when I first got it. I literally got it the first launch because I still have the little card that it came with before it was printed on the back. This is what it looks like. It is a beautiful palette. It is so wonderful. It's so pigmented, so creamy. I love it. However, I'm not a neutrals person. I don't wear a lot of neutrals, as you can tell. I'm not a neutral person, and this is primarily all neutrals except for like this corner here, which again, I have these colors. So I'm really sad, but I think I'm gonna have to get rid of it even though I do love it. But it's not getting any love and attention, and it's just sitting in my collection, collecting dust. This is another boxy charm palette. This is the Winky Luxe Kitten palette, and it's super cute. Look at that packaging. Got little kitties all over it. It's so cute. And I actually really like the colors. I like the formula a lot. I don't hate this palette. I just don't reach for it. I don't reach for these types of colors. I don't reach for this palette, but it is a good palette. I do like it. It's just I don't ever reach for it. So for that reasons, it's going bye-bye. The next palette is the Element of Surprise by ColourPop. I actually really liked this palette when I first got it. It has stunning packaging. I love it. And I don't hate the color story. It's really pretty. However, some of these formulas in here are hit or miss, which is actually not like ColourPop at all for me. I usually love every single formula that ColourPop comes out with. I've never had ColourPop issues before, except for this palette. I don't know what it is, but it's strange. I am not sure. I just don't love it. So for that reasons, it's going bye-bye. Next is the, oh, I just hit myself in the face. Next is the Zodiac palette by BH Cosmetics. I actually love the formula of this palette. The mattes are incredible. The shimmers are okay. They're not my favorite. I'm not a fan of this baked formula from BH, but the mattes are stunning. However, again, I don't reach for this. I have these colors in my collection, and for some reason, I just don't gravitate towards this palette when I want to use these colors. Also, it's super bulky. Like, it's just a big palette. I don't know. So for those reasons, it's going bye-bye. Another palette that I got from BoxyCharm is the Ace Beauty Grandiose palette. It looks like this, and the inside looks like this. Again, stunning colors, and the pigmentation is actually really good. The formula is not bad. I actually really like this palette. I don't know. I don't want to get rid of it because I do like it, but again, I don't reach for it. So I might put this in the middle pile where I try to play with it some more and see if it actually is a good addition to my collection, if it actually adds anything, or if it's just sitting there taking up space, because I don't want to get rid of it. I really do like it. However, I just don't reach for it. I have been reaching for pinks more often though. So maybe I'll try to incorporate this into my routine and see if I can give it another chance, because I do really like it. This next palette I'm so disappointed about, but I really just don't use it. I don't really like it. Oh, it's okay. I just was slightly disappointed with it. It's the Mini Controversy by Shane and Jeffree. These shimmers are so not great in this palette, which is very weird for me because I feel like Jeffree's formula for shimmers are usually really fantastic. And this just wasn't. My favorite color in the whole palette is Exposed. And I kind of just want to keep the palette for that, but I feel like that's kind of stupid. But it's honestly the color that I've used the most. You can see the indentation on it where I've dug into it because I really like it. So I'm really torn because I don't like this palette very much. I know that's like crazy because everyone loved it, but I don't know, it's just not that great, which I'm really sad about. So I'm really unsure what to do about it. I feel like I should just get rid of it because I don't actually like it that much. This palette I'm super sad about because I actually really do love it, and it is the Tartelette Toasted palette. Ooh, look at that. I love the packaging. And it looks like this. It's beautiful. It's got a lot of warm neutrals in it. It's stunning. I love it so much, but I haven't touched this in probably over a year, and that's ridiculous to have a palette in your collection that you haven't touched for a year. And so for those reasons, I'm gonna get rid of it. even though I do love it. It's a good formula, it's a good palette, but I just don't touch it. Another palette I'm really sad about that I'm gonna have to get rid of is the Too Faced Just Peachy Mattes. I actually really love this palette. I think it's such a great palette. I love the color story. Can you see it? There you go. It's just such a great color story. It smells so good, but again, I haven't reached for this in over a year, and I just don't reach for these colors that much. It's so pretty. It's so pretty, but I just don't think I can keep it. This is another BoxyCharm palette, and this is the Violet Voss Pro HG palette. I think it's the Holy Grail palette. Looks like this, and the inside is very beautiful. It's got a lot of warm tones, got a lot of pinks, got a lot of browns, some little oranges. Again, I just don't reach for it. It's a great palette. I love Violet Voss. Violet Voss is amazing. It has a great formula, but this palette, it just doesn't speak to me, and I never touch it. So for those reasons, I have to get rid of it. A palette I'm still debating on is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Prism palette. Now you can no longer get this, and that's one of the reasons why I want to keep it, even though I don't use it that often. I love the color story. It's beautiful. I love these colors. I haven't touched it in so long, probably over a year. And so I don't know. I want to keep it for my collection just because I want to have the ABH palettes I really love. So I am thinking about keeping it just for the sake of collection. Another ABH palette, this is Subculture. I actually was one of the few people that loved Subculture. I didn't dislike Subculture. However, I don't touch this palette. It's very pretty. I love the colors. It's right up my alley. Very grungy, but I haven't touched it in probably over a year, and that's just really sad. It's really sad. I can't have these palettes in my collection when I don't touch them. It's just such a waste of money. It's a waste of space, and I could give this to someone who actually wants it. Last but not least, another maybe palette, and I feel like some people are gonna hate me for this, but I'm thinking about getting rid of my Morphe and James Charles palette. I really do like this palette. I really do. I think it has some great matte colorful shades. It's really great formula in the mattes. I don't love the shimmers. I actually don't like really any of these shimmers. They're all just kind of in my opinion. So I'm debating if I should keep it just for the mattes. When I do have a lot of colorful palettes, I just bought another colorful palette and I'm really excited about that one. So I'm not sure if I should get rid of this one or not. I do like the mattes, but again, I haven't reached for it in so long. And that's so disappointing to me when I have a palette that just sits in my collection for months and I don't touch it. And I keep buying new palettes. Granted, I love eyeshadow palettes and I just keep buying more of them. It's my favorite thing to buy in makeup. And so I just don't know. I don't know if I should keep it or not. But this is just some of the latest palettes that I have decided to try to declutter. Like I said, there are some maybes in here, so I'm not 100% certain on everything. I do have more palettes, but I thought this video would be way too long if I just sat here and tried to talk about all of them. So these are just the main ones that I'm like pretty sure about or are really contemplating at the moment. If you like videos like this where the decluttering is more of a talk through, less than a showing where I don't really talk about it and more sit down and talking, please let me know in the comments down below. I have both on my channel where I sit down and fast forward declutter, and then now this where I actually talk about it. So I'd like to know your guys' thoughts about which one you enjoy more. But with that being said, this is the end of the video. So please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Also, let me know what you think about some of these palettes. What should I do? Give this video a thumbs up if you are enjoying this video so I know what kind of content you like to see on my channel. Subscribe if you haven't already and we can become friends and talk about makeup and horror and all kinds of other stuff. And yeah guys, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!